Everybody, it's Brett here, Lionheart 84. It's good to see everybody, and we're just going to do a short plant unboxing here in the middle of winter. I'll say middle of winter, it's the last week of January now, and I've had a small box arrive today with just a few small plants of interest in. Now, you're probably aware, but since Brexit, it's now become near impossible to buy any tropical plants out the rest of Europe because they've introduced a load of extra paperwork for no obvious reason. It serves no purpose. They introduced the plant passport only a few months ago, and that should have been perfectly adequate for allowing plants to move from mainland Europe into the UK without any extra charges or documentation or phytosanitary certificates or anything along those lines at all. But no, they've introduced loads of red tape, so it may well prove to be almost impossible to buy any more tropical plants, which is okay because I've got too many anyway. But I have managed to buy some, so what I'm going to have to focus on is obviously the hardier hardier, unusual plants that I can mostly grow outside. I mean, there'll be one or two that will need to be grown inside, but I just thought I'd get a couple, and we can see what happens. So let me just tilt this down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll have a look and see what we've got in here. Envelope out of the way. You will be able to see, I can just get this bit of tape cut through, you will be able to see that we have 4 nicely packed little plants in here. So we'll see if we can get them out quickly and tell you what they are. Try not to waste too much time. We'll certainly take them in here well, and I'll tell you who they're from in a minute as well. Downside of having these taped in so hard, it takes a long time to get them out. What I'll do is just pause the video a second and then come back when I've extricated them from the tape. Okay, so we've managed to extract the 4 little plants now. I'm going to show them all one at a time. It was easier said than done getting out there. Firstly, just to let you know, these came from Jurassic Plants Nurseries. Now, they grow quite a few unusual plants. Their prices are very sensible. I mean, they sell very low priced plants, but on the downside I would also say that you get very small young plants for your money. You're not buying established plants, you're buying plants that were only sown or propagated last year, which means it can be a challenge to keep them alive. So without further ado, this tiny little plant here I've bought a spare. This is a Eugenia uniflora or Surinam Cherry. Now, these will have been grown in a greenhouse, and of course I'm going to be struggling because I'm going to be growing them in my house atmosphere, so it's quite likely that this one won't take too kindly to the dry atmosphere, but I thought I'd buy one anyway because I've got one largish one and one smallish one that I've had for about maybe a year, 18 months. It hasn't grown much. I thought I'd get another one just to experiment with. The second plant, which is interesting, which I haven't had one of at all, you can probably read that, is Maclura tricuspidata. Now that is the Che or Chi fruit. It's also known as a Chinese mulberry, and I think it's known as the mandarin berry as well. Now this is a Chinese plant. Now, interestingly, it says on the label deciduous, hardy to minus 20 degrees, but as you can quite clearly see, it's very much evergreen at the moment. Now I suspect that it is a deciduous plant, but they've been propagating these in a greenhouse and growing them over winter under lights, hence the reason it's not dormant. So I'll obviously try and keep it on a bright, cool place to keep it growing, because I don't really want it going deciduous, losing its leaves at the end of January. So that's the Che or Chi fruit, and that's a Chinese mulberry. The third plant is one that I haven't had before, and this is Syzygium, and this one is, I think, called, let's see if I can read the label, I think it's called Smithii, this one. Excuse me, sneezing on camera. This is Syzygium Smithii, which is a Lilly Pilly, and this is evergreen, and it produces quite a reasonably small, I think they're pink, the berries on these. I think it's a native to Australia. It's not hardy, although it is fairly, it will probably take down to freezing, but I wouldn't risk it below freezing, so I should be able to keep it in a nice cool place, and if I can get this going, it should grow quite quickly, and hopefully it'll flower within a couple of years. So that's the Lilly Pilly or Syzygium Smithii. And finally, the last plant from this delivery, and I have got a split delivery from Jurassic Plants. I've got more hardier ones on the way. This one here is a Xanthoxylum bungianum, and that's actually a Szechuan Pepper plant, believe it or not, and that is deciduous and supposed to be hardy down to minus 20 degrees. I've no idea how quickly the plant's going to grow or how many years it takes to produce the Szechuan peppers, but as you can see, it's only about 6 inches tall. So again, it's a small plant, but it's something that I've not had before, and this one should be fine outside with the Che or Chi fruit plant as well. They're both hardy, so I thought I'd try and get a few more hardy, unusual fruiting exotics and see how we go. So that was an unboxing of some more unusual and very small plants. That's the smallest and the cutest, but I'm loving the colour of the leaves on this Lilly Pilly. So thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate as usual. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share it with anyone else you think might be interested. Remember, those plants came from Jurassic Plants nurseries. I believe they're over in Wales, so at least we can buy from them without any complicated paperwork, but you've got to be prepared to nurse the plants, because they do send, although they're very, very sensibly priced, they are very small plants for the money. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, and I'll keep you updated on these and other plants during the year. And remember, if you want to see those updates, you must click on the bell and select all updates, and you'll be notified when I put new videos out. So I'll catch up with you all soon. Brett out for now.